Welcome, our fellow lovers of love, and thank you for joining us on yet another excursion through the stream of consciousness down the river of tranquility to fill the lake of life with love.
And welcome back to this episode of Late Night Love. It's been a strange week as we learn how to do this and put this kind of new format show together. I didn't write intros. I wrote one intro, not remembering that I have to write three. So I'm not writing a third one. As you guys found out on, Thursday night, that I'm winging these two intros. So we're talking relationship questions tonight, maybe a couple intimacy questions. Oh, this is a long one. So yeah, this is going to be a good show tonight.
All right.
So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on pre-show chat this evening. But so what do you think, Lovey, about the new kind of shift in studio, even though it's undone yet? It's an incomplete project.
Well, it has a more professional feel to it.
It's a little bit. I think we're too far apart. I do. The other table was too close. This one's too far. Anyway, we'll figure it out one of these days.
Sure.
We'll get it right. But, once we get all the lights sorted and everything's, and some other graphics sorted, it'll be
with the extra cameras.
Yeah, extra cameras.
And everything.
Yeah, which means we have to talk about extra cameras, which means we actually have a director now.
Yes, we do.
Mr. Antoine over there being a director.
Yes, we do.
So if there's any kind of major screw-ups, we can blame him.
Finally.
We
finally have someone we can blame. We've been waiting years for this.
It is what it is. Even though, as I tell people when I teach them how to produce podcasts, is if you're the producer, everything's your fault. And when things go right, nothing's your responsibility. It's just the way of the producer. You pass on credit and you accept blame. And that's how it works. That's how teams succeed. It just is. Head is heavy, wears the crown, right? That's the nature of the beast. So anyway. All right. So what is next?
We're going to delve into some relationship questions.
All right.
My husband reconnected with his high school friend, and I am freaking out about it. How can I handle this maturely?
Okay, so...
Ex-girlfriend in high school.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, now he's 46, so you're talking 30 years ago.
I know.
Yeah. What are you afraid of?
They're different people now.
Not only are they different people, if you weren't afraid of him wandering around in the world, why are you afraid of this now? There's far more likely that, somebody at work or...
Because it's so cliche.
Yeah, but
you read about this.
No, you don't.
It
happens the one time. It's one of those things that happens so infrequently that the one time it happens, we all think, oh my God. No. It's not one of those things that happen all the time. The only reason it becomes news when it happens is because it's, uncommon. That's why on the occasion that it happens, it reaches popular consciousness. It doesn't happen all that much. It's one of these things. It's one of those things that happens in movies and in books, but in real life, does it happen? Sure. But the reality is they're just catching up on old times like anybody else. A little nostalgia. I don't think nostalgia is inherently dangerous.
Well, I don't think so either.
If you really want to find some way to kind of go hang out with them, but you're going to have to figure out how to park your jealousy before you do that. Otherwise, you're going to spoil everybody's good time. So you don't want to do that either. right? You don't want to get in the way because then you're going to create the thing in the relationship that you're afraid of. right? You create a separation, you create something that distances you and your husband, and now you've actually created the conditions where stupid decisions can be made. So this is one of those things. Park your jealousy and participate as a happy spouse. Because just like if you had come up together with an old friend and we're catching up on old times, it's no different. It's my suggestion. Participate in the nostalgia. You get to hear stories about a perspective about your husband that you wouldn't have always got to hear. You can see how much he's grown and changed in the last 30 years. So, it's my suggestion. Just participate.
There you go.
Okay. What do we got?
Let's see. We've been dating for 4 months now, and I feel all of a sudden ill being a girlfriend. Is this just the stress of being in something new?
No, it means your body is essentially telling you you're not ready for a relationship right now.
Yeah.
My suggestion is to follow your instincts. It's more serious than you're ready for, or there's some red flag that you're not mentally picking up, but something is. But my guess is you're just not ready for it.
You're just not ready yet, huh?
Yeah, it's not the one.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. So classic, it's not you, it's me. Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of the classic, it's not you, it's me.
And she can't say you make me ill.
No, because it's not. She's just not ready for a long-term commitment.
Yeah.
Or that's the person she doesn't want to have a long-term commitment with. Either way, it's not a big deal. These things happen. You move on.
There you go.
Okay.
My wife wants to divorce me. How can I make her stay?
You can't. You can't make anybody do anything. And the fact that you try to, being that dependent on your spouse is not good. There's a light out. I just noticed. It's just not good for either one of you, which might be one of the reasons why she's wanting to leave, because you're no longer the strong, independent person you were when you guys first got together. You can't make her stay, and any attempts to try to do so, I don't want to put this, weaken the stance that you are trying to have. So my suggestion is just go out and make yourself a better person, and she will either work on the marriage or she won't. But you will be a better person at the end of it regardless. So there's only one solution to that, and that's you becoming a better human being, right? The better you that you want to be. And she'll either see that and respond to it, or she won't. But you'll still be a better person. So you'll be the winner regardless, you know? Maybe lonelier, but you'll be better. And in the long run, you'll be better off. Because you'll be a better person, then you'll find somebody who will appreciate that.
Because she's not in for the long haul for whatever reason.
Yeah,
I mean, she doesn't even want to try counseling first.
No,
I mean,
we don't know how much they've had the discussion. He could not be a very good husband, right? He could not be attentive. There's all kinds of things. He doesn't have to necessarily be a bad husband, but he doesn't necessarily have to be a good one. You know what I'm saying? And so, he needs to take his responsibility in this. Now, maybe she's just bored and, this is happening far too often these days, where wives get bored. There's nothing wrong with her husband. He treats me well. He's nice, but he's too nice, and so they go off.
That makes me crazy.
I know, but it happens, right?
This is what you asked for.
I know.
This is why they call women nuts.
Yes, yeah. Everything they ask for, but it's boring. So.
But it's boring.
Yeah, no, that means you're boring, lady.
You're boring.
Yeah. Now, he might be, right? He may come home, go bowling on Tuesdays, and not want to do anything else.
What is wrong with that?
Well, Nothing inherently, except if she needs more.
Well, then she gets, get girlfriends.
Well, I understand that, but it's his duty to provide a little more. But there's a balance here, right? I'm not gonna give some dude who just doesn't pay enough attention to his wife a pass because she gets bored.
Okay.
But if he's working on it, he's working on himself and trying not to be boring, or if he's working 60, 70 hours a week to provide the lifestyle she wants, and then he gets more of a pass than the guy who's going his 40 hours a week, goes bowling on Tuesdays with the boys, and sits home and watches TV and drinks beer, right? He gets no pass. That guy gets no pass.
Well, you got to make a little more effort.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to throw both of them under the bus partially, right? So maybe he's not being as attentive, and maybe she's being boring herself and blaming somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
it's kind of my suggestion there. All right, what's next?
Let me see. Where am I?
Uh,
Oh, yes, this one. My girlfriend wants us to cool off because she says I've changed. He made some disparaging comments about her mother.
Did she earn them?
Doesn't matter.
Well, it kind of does. But
I can talk bad about my mom, but you may not.
Yeah.
No one is allowed to talk bad about your mom,
Well, unless it's
but
true.
you can.
Unless it's true.
It's still not allowed.
See, I think truth is allowed. Now, truth doesn't have to be brutal. You know what I'm saying?
I guess.
Truth is always allowed. But there is a way to say truth.
He's 19.
Yeah, well, of course, then they don't know how to. Well, he's 19. So this is just part of life. He just learned what. He just learned
A life lesson.
life lesson. And it's not necessarily what you say, it's how you say it. But like, again, truth doesn't have to be brutal. You can say and honestly say something without crossing a line. You can tell someone that their mother is an unpleasant human being. You don't really want to be around them without, without going any farther than that. Right? How else might you say that in a stronger way? Someone 19 would say that sentence in a stronger way.
It must have hurt when your mother said that to you.
What?
That's what you say.
Yeah.
The other night, I heard your mom say such and such. That must have really hurt. Are you okay?
Yeah.
That's one way to approach it.
So there's ways to approach it, but he's 19 and just learns his lesson.
Yeah,
on how to
okay.
do that. Okay. What's next?
My girlfriend lied about what college she goes to. I chose forgiveness. She says I'm too nice and deserve better. Am I being naive? Listen to what she is telling you.
Yeah.
Run.
Yeah. Yeah. She
Do
literally
not try and stay because she's going to treat you not very nice.
Yeah, she just told you that she's doesn't respect you for whatever reason, and she doesn't really care. Why she's sticking with you at this point is beyond me.
Now because she doesn't have the guts.
Or who knows? He pays bills. Who buys dinner? Who knows what it is, right?
So he's a cash register.
Happens far more often than we'd like to admit.
But that's the oldest profession in the world.
But in her defense, she just told him. She's not hiding it. She's openly and honest.
So she can carte blanche treat him like a dog.
Yes, for her own. Now she has her own.
As far as she thinks she can.
She has now given herself a moral pass. I've told him that I'm not worth it. I literally just told him I'm going to treat him like crap. And so if he stays, he gets what he deserves.
Run.
Yeah. Okay, what's next?
My husband doesn't want me to travel with my baby to visit my family without him. Is this fair? The baby's 9 months. She's talking about a 3-hour car ride.
Well, fairness has nothing to do with it. Fairness is for children. This is not a discussion. I'm going to ignore the fair comment because it's got nothing to do with it. The reality is children travel to go see, even infants, and this is past an infant, travel to go see family all the time.
We used to put them on a train
Trains,
by
planes,
themselves.
trains, planes, automobiles. They used to go in buggies, and on traveling to go see family is nothing new. 9 months old is perfectly reasonable. I've seen people do it at 9 days old. So this just
Hey man, my oldest was 6 weeks old when we drove from Texas to California.
yeah. So your husband is being unreasonable. Now the question is why. That's the thing to ask and deal with that. The real why. Is he just afraid of you not coming back because he's feeling insecure? Who knows? So that's the question, is what's his real why?
Okay.
Or is he just a controlling jerk? These things, it's not impossible, right?
Yeah.
It can be anything from feeling insecure because he's a new father and he just doesn't want to be away from his wife and daughter, wife and infant, just because, and you can pace it off as insecurity, or he's a jerk, right? And there's anything in between, or some combination thereof.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, now we have a couple intimacy questions.
Yeah, should be interesting.
Okay. Should I be worried about my crooked penis?
Probably not.
Visually? No, we don't notice.
No.
We don't really notice. Sorry. We don't pay that much attention.
I mean, I suppose during some activities, angles might matter, but
Yeah.
But worried, no. It can help in some circumstances and make things difficult in others, depending upon
What you're doing.
Yeah. So
Okay.
just be aware. It's not a big deal.
It's not gonna hamper you
No.
medically.
Well, unless
mean-
it's severely. I mean,
Nah.
no, it's just a normal pleasure curve type thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
go with it. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. Okay.
How to cope with anxiety, feelings of jealousy after my first threesome.
Yeah. And I was a man with 2 women thing. So who was writing it, the men or the women?
The woman. The man. Okay, she's part of a couple,
Uh-huh.
and they brought in another woman,
Uh-huh.
and now she's feeling jealous.
Imagine that.
Did you actually think you were going to be able to see your husband, your beloved, nail somebody else and feel zip? Really?
Well, people do, I guess. It happens.
I don't think so. I think it's a bunch of boo-ha-ha.
I don't know. It happens.
But I know myself, I mean, doesn't it sound delightful? Have a little bit of variety. Yeah, right. You know what that would do to my insides?
Depends on the size of your partner.
Didn't you say that?
Here's the thing. If you guys had kind of gone in, eyes open, theoretically, and now you're just dealing with kind of the after effects emotions, you're just going to have to deal with the after effects and emotions. They'll subside. And as long as everything was kind of open and dealt with, they'll be dealt with. They just will. Kind of nature will take its course over time. But, what's telling you is you're probably not as open-minded as you thought you were.
That's lovely in fantasy.
Yeah. Okay.
Does exercising increase my libido?
Probably a little bit. I mean, in the margins.
Because you're fit.
Yeah, but
Maybe it would add to your stamina a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, I suppose you can get a boost of testosterone, which can boost your libido. But
Okay.
generically speaking, I wouldn't think it would boost it past your, enough where you'd really notice. Now, other lifestyle choices by itself, if you changed nothing else and just started working out, probably not. But most people who start working out also change their diet.
They start taking vitamins
and they're working on themselves. They're feeling a little better about themselves, and the combination thereof of those
that'll increase your your sex.
So I don't think it's the exercise itself. I think it's the whole package that comes along when you start exercising. You're starting to work on yourself. You're starting to feel better about yourself. You're eating better food. You're you're trying, putting an effort into yourself.
Yeah.
And as you try to put an effort into yourself, you feel more confident and better about yourself. And when you feel more confident and better about yourself, your libido increases. It's just how that works. Yeah. So that would be my guess. Not a medical doctor, have no research to back that up, but it's my guess. It's a little more complicated than simply go pump some iron and you feel better. All right.
Girlfriend offered me a hall pass. Not sure what to do.
Nothing is what you do.
Do not pick up that hall pass and try to turn it in.
No, but here's the other thing. That's a shitty test.
It really is. It's a test. Sorry, hun. It's a test.
Now it
really is.
Yeah. Now it's either a test or she has an interest in expanding the thing and she's trying to put it onto him. So there is that other possibility.
So she's not being honest about what her.
So either way, this is not really a good sign.
You got red flags here.
Yeah, there's red flags.
Somebody's playing games.
My instinct is this is a test, but there is another chance that she's more interested in having a more open lifestyle, and this is her way of starting that discussion. But the bigger chance is it's a test, and that's a crappy game to play.
Unless here's one. She sends him out. He comes back. He does it, and she says, "Okay, now I get you."
Yeah, she wants the more open lifestyle, and she's using.
Maybe it's just a one-off. Maybe she already has somebody in mind.
Yeah, well, who knows? Again, there's whatever you do nothing, and you
start having a conversation about what the heck was that?
Yeah. Now, is this from an ongoing thing you guys been discussing for 3 months? So there is some issues, but generally, rule of thumb is this is either a shitty test or she's testing waters to see about a more open thing. And it's about a 70-30, I would suspect, if that high.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for us tonight. Thank you for joining us. Remember, you can find us. Oh, God, I've got to do closes 3 times. I forgot.
You sure did.
Oh, man. Anyway, you can find us at latenightLove.us. You can send us your questions, comments, suggestions, et cetera, at love@latenightLove.us. And for me and Lovey, have a good night. And please remember to love everybody.